Andrew Fitzpatrick from Arc Ventures, who I think has got a very interesting product that we might all benefit from.
Thank
Andrew.
you, Matthew. And yeah, mold, it's a topic everybody loves talking about, I'm sure, but it's, I suppose, getting probably most interest and most coverage at the minute, especially with the new legislations coming. I'd like to start maybe by telling you a little bit about ourselves and how we got here, because a year ago, we didn't have a single product in the house. It wasn't a market that we're involved in. We supplied our products mainly in the hospitality, commercial, retail, and the care sector. And that was all based around the technology's ability to eliminate viruses and also control and eliminate odors. So it was all about creating clean air spaces for people when they're at work or for people when they were visiting or shopping, things like that. But one of the stats and one of the things our technology is capable of doing is eliminating mold spores. And when that was spotted by an MP's office, Fleur Anderson, they reached out to us and asked, would this work in housing? And the simple question was, it should. The science says it does. The science says it should work, but we've never put one inside a property. Fleur introduced us to Tom Copley, the Deputy Mayor of London in charge of housing. We met with Tom. He introduced us to Fiona Fletcher-Smith of L&Q and a number of other providers. And over the last year, we've been trialing and testing our products in their properties to see, does it actually work at home? Will it eliminate mold? Will it keep a tenant safe? And will it also protect the landlords? And I'm pleased to say that it does. So I'll take a quick run through of what it is we offer and how it might well benefit yourselves and your tenants. So as I said, mold, it's a topic of discussion at the minute. It's nothing new. It's been around forever. There's umpteen different things you can do to treat it, whether it's washes, fogging, things like that. But what is new is that legislation that's coming in the 1st of October. And one of the main points of that legislation is the time that you have to react to deal with it when it's reported. And where we come in is we have two products that we supply, and they're incredibly fast acting. They're going to enable you to stay compliant with that legislation and provide a response within 24 hours. That not only keeps you compliant, but also will keep your tenants safe in their home while the repairs are carried out. So there's the portable unit, which you see there on the screen, and then there's a fixed solution. So the portable unit is one that our clients have in stock. If mold is reported, they can drop that off to the tenant's home within the 24 hours. Tenant simply switches it on and it gets to work straight away, eliminating the spores that are in the air. So while the work then is carried out, they're safe. They're not breathing in any of the harmful spores. They're not breathing in any other contaminants. And then there's a fixed solution, which is a little box that's fixed to a wall. It's designed to run 24/7, and that's ideal in properties where there's recurring issues. So when that is fitted and the work is carried out, there'll be no more callbacks for the same issue. And they can eliminate up to 99.9% of spores. But in fact, they can eliminate up to 100%, but we never quote that. But you'll see it from some of the test reports that we've done, some of the trials, that that's exactly what they can do. So how do they do it? It's by utilizing a thing called a hydroxyl. And hydroxyl is what nature uses to self-clean itself. So whenever you step outside and walk around, you're breathing these things in. So it's completely natural. We're not adding some other chemical to a property. We're not adding anything that's going to do any harm. And what these hydroxyls do is they seek out and find a contaminant, whether that happens to be viruses, flus, COVID, pathogens, anything like that, and also mold spores. They bond to it and they render it completely inert. They break it back down to its base elements. Hydroxyls will make their way around an entire property. So when you fit one of these units, it's one per home. So you have the portable unit, which you can see behind me, the slightly taller one, will cover an area of up to 1,500 square feet, about 125 square meters. And the little fixed unit beside it will cover 1,000 square foot. And you'd put these centrally in a property. They don't need to go into the room where the issue is. Those hydroxyls will make their way around the entire property. And I mentioned some of the trials and some of the things that we've been doing over the last year. This is just an example of some of the results that we've got and some of the pictures where these trials are taking place. I'll give you a wee minute to look over those. But as I say, in some cases, it was complete 100%. And that was in 24 hours of the product running. Now, the relationship that we've built up with our clients over the last year in testing this out and saying, does it work and would it do the job, is that I suppose we're lucky, they're more than happy for us to share their pilots, their trials with other housing providers, to let them see what they've done, to let them see how it works, and for us to be able to do that. So after this, if anybody wants further information, just send me an email and we can get that across to you. And these are just some of the clients that have tested, trialed, and are now using the products. So what are the benefits of it? Well, for the tenant, it does truly create a healthy home. So it doesn't just eliminate the spores that are there. If you have tenants with weakened immune systems, tenants with asthma or other conditions like that, they're going to find their quality of life greatly enhanced with these products running. It's going to eliminate the pathogens, viruses. It's going to eliminate allergens, VOCs, and things like that, truly creating a healthy home for your tenants. The first thing a tenant will notice is in their property, if mold was there, that smell is gone. Within about 20 minutes, if they went outside, did their shopping, came back, they'll notice there's no smell of damp, there's no smell of the mold. And that creates a really strong buy-in for the tenant, because you can't see a hydroxyl. These machines are going now, you can't see anything coming out of them. But when they notice that difference and can feel it for themselves, it creates a sense of, well, if it's doing that, I'll believe it's doing the rest of the things. So it means what we've had reported back is there's been little interference. Machines aren't getting turned off. They're being left to run because the tenants are getting the other benefits from it as well. In terms of landlords, well, I suppose it keeps you right in terms of the legislation, but it's really that it's a whole home solution with one unit. It can be dropped off, turned on. It's as simple as that. When repairs have been carried out, it can be taken away and used in the next property. If you have identified properties where you're getting repeated calls for the same issues, then putting a fixed solution in is going to drastically cut that down for you. So it's going to save time and costs in maintenance. From a tenant's point of view, how much do these things cost when they're running? If the fixed unit's running 24/7, it's about £40 a year in electricity. It runs off 14 watts, so it's incredibly energy efficient. Some of the associations that we're working with are actually giving their tenants a credit to make sure that they're left running. So they're giving them a voucher, whether it's Tesco's voucher or something like that, to cover the cost of that electricity, because they see the benefit of these products being in and left to run. So that's me, Matthew. So yeah, keep it short and sweet. We can provide our full information pack for anybody that wants it, which contains a lot more information on the hydroxyl technology, how it works and what it does. And we can also supply other associations, if you want, with some of those reports from the testing that we've done with the likes of L&Q and Places for People and so on.
Excellent.
So, now to any questions anybody has?
Yeah, there are. So Jackie, you've put a couple of things into the chat. Do you want to come on screen and tell us what your questions are?
Sorry, thanks Andrew. That was a fantastic presentation, and I'd be interested to get an information pack on that. So I work at Great Places Housing Group, based in Manchester, and of course we've got stock all across, all different regions. So as you was presenting, a couple of questions. Sorry, there's a couple on there. So to me, the portable devices, I'm guessing, work similarly to a dehumidifier. So the question is, we go in, we remove kind of like mold, or it supports with the removal. Can we then reuse that in another home? That's the first question.
Yep, the portable unit is simply put it in. When you've resolved the issue, you can take it and reuse it. Jackie, I'm not going to interrupt you as such, but we were with your guys last Monday or the Monday before, and Great Places have ordered. They've ordered our units, and we're about to actually run a trial with
Blackpool. Yeah.
So they're going to be sending them out. You 4 regions, so there's going to be trials run in your 4 regions over the next few weeks.
Yeah, I thought it'd be interesting for the group as well, Andrew.
So the way the portable unit works is, unlike a dehumidifier, there's nothing for the tenant to do other than turn it on. So they don't need to empty anything out, because we all know if a dehumidifier, if that little drip tray fills, it shuts the unit off. So if they're not emptying that and maintaining it, it's not going to be doing its job. And it also consumes a lot less electricity, so it's going to cost the tenant less to have it running. And a byproduct of hydroxyl production is, as those hydroxyls are produced, it's utilizing the ambient humidity that's in a property. So all tenants have reported back that their condensation that was maybe on the windows and things like that is gone after about a day. If the product's running, the condensation's away. Now it doesn't take it and put it anywhere. It's just utilizing that to produce its hydroxyl. So if the conditions don't change in that property and you turn the unit off, that condensation will be back on the window. It hasn't been taken out of the property. But while those things are running, the condensation will disappear, the mold's getting eliminated, odors and smells are gone, and as I say, it's doing a lot more in terms of pathogens, VOCs, and so on. So tenants generally feel healthier with these products running in their property. And your second question was?
I can't remember now. I think you've answered it all. But the only final question from me or comment is there monitoring within that device that will monitor the, let's call it the environmental conditions within the home, humidity, temperature, etc.?
Okay, yep, good question, and thanks, because I never mentioned it. There is indeed. The portable unit has intelligent features, so you can connect them to an app. So whether you have 1 unit or 1,000 units, they can be on the same app. You can log in and see, is it turned on for starters? You can see the temperature in that property, and you can see the humidity level in the property. It's not like installing sensors like Switchy or something like that. It won't feed you back the information. You need to log on to the app to see it, but you'll get it in real time. You also have the ability to turn the units back on if they're off, as long as they're still plugged into the wall. It also has, you can see there, that green, it's got a traffic light system. So if that machine picks up a contaminant, it'll go from green to amber to red, and it'll up its production of hydroxyls. Once it's killed it off, it'll drop back down to the green setting. And it's important to let tenants know that it's not just mold it's detecting. So if you cook something or light a cigarette, it's going to pick that up. It's going to go red. It's going to wipe it out. Because initially when these started going out, tenants were going, you told me the mold was gone and it's gone red again. And I was having to go back and explain, no, what were you doing? No, spraying hairspray or whatever it might have been. It was picking up with the OC or something. So tenants love it because that interaction is great. So they go, if they do say light a cigarette and say go red, again, it tells them, hey, that's picked up my cigarette. It's doing something to try and kill it. If it's green, it means my place is nice and safe. I don't have mold. I don't have issues. So it's a constant sort of reassurance for them when they see it. The fixed unit doesn't have any of that. It's designed to be fitted on the wall, turned on and left running. It doesn't have any monitoring or anything. It's not designed for that. It's designed just to be a workhorse.
Mold gets into awkward places. So mold is not, I mean, it's in the air, it's on the surface, but sometimes it's behind the surface.
Yeah, behind a cupboard or...
Yeah, well, behind a cupboard or deeper into the walls. Yeah. How deep can these hydroxyls get? Can they go through to next door? Do they go through brickwork, or do they just kind of pick up the stuff on the surface?
No, they will penetrate porous materials. So they're not going to penetrate steel or metal or things like that, but they will penetrate plasterboard. They will make their way through fabrics. So as you rightly said, mold doesn't just confine itself to the wall or the kitchen or the bathroom. Those pores will be everywhere in a property. So the hydroxyls will penetrate carpets, bedding, couches, clothes. They'll get behind the wardrobes and places like that too. But they will also make their way through the actual plaster of it wall, so they will penetrate in behind where the surface mold spores are. They won't go all the way through the buildings next door. That won't happen, but they will penetrate. That's why they're so effective in providing a complete solution. Because whilst so many of those other things work, it's impossible to go into somebody's home and mold wash a bed or mold wash their clothes and things like that. So you can treat the wall, but you can't treat other areas. The hydroxyls do that.
And maybe the last thing, Andrew, what are we looking at in terms of the cost of these 2 units?
That's maybe the best thing. Is they're really cost effective to purchase when you look at sort of what they can do. The fixed unit is £690 and the portable unit is £750.
Right. Excellent.
Matthew, can I just ask, Andrew, you're saying that they're really cost effective. So what's the lifespan of, say, the portable unit that is about 750, you said?
Yep. What you have in both of them is the only 2 parts you should ever need to change is the filter and the arc cell. The filter in the portable unit, I have one in my home. I have 9 dogs, so I have it running. It's purely for odors. I don't have mold, thankfully. But my filter, I'd run that 24/7 and I get 7 months out of my filter. If that's in properties where it's being used intermittently, you could get anywhere from that to a couple of years. The arc cell in it, you'd be looking to change that at a minimum, not a minimum, at a maximum 2 years, but you'll get 2 to 3 years from the arc cell. It's a matter of you just lift the top off the unit, you pull the cell out and drop another one in. Then the same with the filter. They're incredibly easy to maintain. The fixed unit would be the same lifespan for its arc cell, and it's a matter of just open it, unplug it, plug another one in. The filter on that, we would recommend every 6 months. If you could, every 12 months is fine. The reason why we would say 6 months is it's coated in the odor guard, which eliminates the odors in a property. That just tends to wear off after about 6 months. It's otherwise, if you give it a hoover at the bottom, you could get a year out of it. It's not going to affect the hydroxyl production or that active part of its technology.